of us are hard headed, and nothing that nobody could have told me would have been better than me actually having that bad experience. And I'm not saying that I would like for that to be the best teacher, but unfortunately, those experiences is what we actually learn from. And
So
even the reason you could teach, even the reason you can teach is because of what you
Somebody
having
was
that
there.
experience for.
Right, but I'm wanting to have, but me going forward and having that experience is to teach the people behind me, right? That listen, don't do it how I did it, right? I need you to do it differently so that you can be in a different position.
have any of you gentlemen? I know you guys are tough and strong now. I mean, masculine, manly men. I mean, you know what I mean. You hunt your own food still, right? You don't go to the store. So I got a question for you guys. Have any of you guys ever been the nice guy, or kind of a pushover, or not as assertive as you should be?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I took a lot of L's, and that's why I mentioned that first, right? That was when I had to reinvent myself because I didn't realize a lot of the things that I was doing wrong. So I feel it's valuable though because when you learn things the hard way, man, that's the best way to learn, and with through experience. Experience is the best teacher. When you have some serious experiences and take some L's, it really builds your character. So I feel fortunate that I was able to experience that in my earlier years, because even with like a lot of the younger dudes, I could actually help them because I know a lot of cats act like they, came out of the JJ and did nothing but getting into it since they came out of it. But nah, I sit here and tell you, man, I sucked initially when I was in my younger years. I started coming into my manhood when I was like maybe like 17, where I started to get it. But it took me taking a couple of L's. And you were taught to, us as men, we were taught to be nice guys. You were taught to throw your coat on the floor so they could walk over the puddle and, you know what I mean, open doors and chivalry and be nice. And women are sugar and spice and things that's nice. That's what we're taught growing up as men, right? And then we get out there, we run into these women and they don't behave like that. And then we listen to what women say, and then we start to realize that what they actually say they like is nothing like what they actually respond to
Man,
in real life.
bruh, that's a fact.
Right. So you end up being a nice guy because that's what you're taught. That's how we're groomed as men. They really, when you have older people, especially real old school people that didn't have to go through all the nonsense we do today as men, they certainly told us to do that. So I've learned a lot of hard lessons, and then I ended up going over the edge too, right? And then just being like a straight savage. And it worked for me because it responded that way. But as I reinvented myself again, I realized that there's some type of balance. So what I do, the one thing that I got out of it, right? The biggest point I got out of it is humans don't respect anything that isn't earned. So when I see that somebody's willing to do certain things, then I'm willing to do certain things. If you give me that type of energy, I have no problem giving you that same type of energy.
I just before somebody else goes, I want to try to let y'all know that I think it's bad to tell people that experience is the best teacher. The reason why I say that is because if we're saying that experience is the best teacher, what's the point of us teaching them what is to come? Like the reason why we are the council in which we are is trying to tell them, listen, we've crossed that bridge before, and we know what that looks like. So we want you to make the detour early or adjust your plans early before you have to find out the hard way. So it makes more sense to say, listen, this is how it went for me, and I think you should do a better. This is what I did. This is how it happened for me. For case in point, all right, I have a stepdaughter now, right? She's 21 and she wants to do XYZ, such and such, right? When I was 21, I had a different scenario than she did. I was living on my own, right, and going to school. And so if I would have had the mindset of being in real estate at that time, then I would have been further along now, as opposed to saying, you know what, experience is going to be your best teacher. So just experience it. And then you'll land upon where you want to land. No, the reason why I'm telling you now as a parent, as a dad, as a father, is that I want you to be in a different position than I am. Right.
But
So that's why
isn't
That's
that
still
experience
experience,
teaching?
brother.
That experience
Yeah,
is
that's
still the
some
best teacher.
experience.
Yeah,
No
that
one
is
said it
experience
has to
teaching.
be.
Your lived experience. That's what wisdom is. Wisdom is the experience of others. So experience is always going to be the best teacher. Doesn't mean it has to be your lived experience.
Right.
And
But
the reason why I said that in the first place is because how many times has somebody told you to do something and then you just didn't? How many hard-headed people you hear like on a regular basis? It's a bunch of hard-headed people, right? And you can tell them and they never listen and they never listen. You know when they listen? When something messed up happened to them. And that's why I say it's the best teacher, because that's the
that
only
wasn't the
thing
best
that
teacher.
actually worked.
But
Say it
that
again.
wasn't the best teacher, is what I'm saying. It wasn't the
But
best
what I'm
teacher.
saying,
The best
but it's
teacher
the
would
only
have
thing
been
that
the
actually
good.
worked, right? So if it's the only thing that actually works sometimes for people, right? A lot of people don't learn lessons until it's a hard one. That it has to be a circumstance to happen to them before they go into it. A lot of us are hard-headed, and nothing that nobody could have told me would have been better than me actually having that bad experience. And I'm not saying that I would like for that to be the best teacher, but unfortunately, those experiences is what we actually learn from. And
So
even the reason you could teach, even the reason you can teach is because of what you
Somebody
having
was
that experience for.
Right, but I'm wanting to have, but me going forward and having that experience is to teach the people behind me, right? That listen, don't do it how I did it, right? I need you to do it differently so that you can be in a different position.
But you
I,
wouldn't know
I mean,
that
I
if you
can
didn't experience it. So it's the same thing. You wouldn't know that to teach them
if you
if
didn't.
you hadn't
Right.
taken the risk to have
Yeah.
that experience.
So
So
experience
so
was still
whether
at
it's secondhand experience or whether it's firsthand experience, it's still the best teacher.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
Humble Dad is
And
right.
the experience qualifies you also, because if you ain't experienced it, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear your mouth.
I can understand
Right.
what Humble Dad is saying. I think what we need to take away from it is that experience is experience, whether it's good or bad. I mean, it's still experience. So I think that if you are seasoned in it and you're doing well, that's good experience you can bring to the table. But a lot of times you don't hear things until it hit the fan. There's a lot of people that have a lot of experience, but they don't speak on it, and you only hear about the experience because of a lesson that was learned. So I don't really think we should look at it as bad or good. Experience as experience, whether it's good or bad. And if you learned a lesson, then kudos to you. And if you are thriving in it, then hey, tell us your story so we can know how to be successful as well.
Yeah, and JR, that's why I posed that question earlier, because so when I first came into this space, everybody had Lamborghinis, everybody had mansions in Malibu, and everybody had 10 girlfriends and they was the best looking thing. Everybody in the gym 17 days a week. And I'm sitting there like, come on, like if you're gonna inspire men, like for real. So you got to give young men something to look forward to. That's the goal. That gives us something to work towards. But what we discourage a lot of men at is a lot of us, we act like we always been there. Like I know it. I've seen some men. If you talk to them, they've always hit all the girls. They've always had the right body. Always knew what their purpose was. And you'd be like, "Who are you, Jesus?" Like I can't really relate to you at this point. So I think it's incumbent on King Talk. Like we understand that everybody ain't a king yet, and that there's some work to be done before you get there. And in order to really give people the steps and the building blocks to have kingship, we got to have the foundation of life. And we got to let people know that you're not going to always be here, that you're going to get your heart broken. You're going to think you the stuff, and you're going to find out that everybody don't think you the stuff like you think you are. Like you're going to have to figure out that you're going to fall on your face thinking that you were going to win. You're going to have to fall, have to fail, regroup, build yourself back up again, and go do it all over again. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some times where the girl that you with, she ain't gonna be sweet all the time. How do you navigate through that? She ain't gonna always be, yes, sir, I'll do whatever you want. Would you like a sandwich, baby? Yes, I got your bath water running. It ain't gonna always be like this. How do you get through this? I think we gotta stop teaching men and like promoting the crown, and we gotta stop and we got to start promoting the steps to get there, because I think we're frustrating a lot of men, and they're trying to be old too soon because they think they got to be there at 25, and that's not the way kingship works. And I think we gotta promote that a little bit more, that you're not always going to be there. You got to be working to get there on a consistent basis. And we got to be honest enough to let them know that what you see today I'm 35. It took 35 years for me to get here. So what I want to do, to Humble Dad's point, I want to give you a 10-year head start. Now you're going to make your own mistakes, but let me give you this 10-year worth of game so you can be where I'm at in 10 years, and we can keep on doing this in our communities.
Yeah.
Is it cool? Is it cool to still say you struggling right now though, and still be a king? Because I like in my history and what I've studied about kings struggle.
Yes, sir.
I think that's the only thing I have pushback on what you said. It's like you still a king because kings struggle. Kings make mistakes. Kings step on banana peels. Kings go bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? Kings do things that may not be good for everybody in the kingdom. But the cool thing also that I would, it's not that I'm trying to say what king talk should be, but the coolest thing I hope this does is it helps people to understand that you can step on that banana peel, but you can get back up and get with it. And that, you know, it's not a judgmental space, but it's like, yo, you know what? Or if you see somebody about to go down the road, you're like, you don't want to do that. Or as my brother said earlier, or, hey, man, you really need to put your money here. But that's the only thing that I would say about what you said is like, I think all the brothers here that are listening are kings, but it's just all about what you do with your kingship and how you know, serve when you're sitting on that throne.